Hello and welcome to Mad L Goes Racing, and today I'm in Raceroom having a look at the new circuit, which is the circuit of Pau-Ville, as I believe they have called it. Now, Pau is a town in France. I'm not sure if it's a town or a city, but it's in France. I'm not sure quite where in France, but it is in France. It has had a race in the town since 1933. They did actually have, I believe, from 1930, the Pau Grand Prix races, but they were on a circuit just outside the town, I believe. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. But certainly in 1933 they built a circuit within the town itself, or they used the streets of Pau as a circuit. They then had a change to the circuit in 1935. There was no race in 1934. Why, I don't know, but there wasn't. They changed the circuit slightly in 1935. It wasn't a massive change. Probably three-quarters of it is the same. You could probably work out where they changed it by looking on the racingcircuits.info. I'll give a link. And then Google Maps and have a look. It's all in 3D on Google Maps, which is actually quite interesting and well worth a look due to the way the town's laid out, which you'll see when we're going around doing a slow lap. The layout they used in 1935 is exactly the same as the one they use today. It's been used for the Grand Prix of Pau several years since 1935 or 1933, but it's actually never been a Formula 1 Grand Prix. It usually tends to be things like the British Formula 3 Championship using it and things like that. So, but it is quite a famous race. It's been going on for years and years and years. There have been different things used over the years. European F3 Championship, I believe it was. World Touring Cars, or at least the European Touring Cars, one of the two. They have had F2 races and Formula 3000 races around here. Personal opinion, I'd stick to slower tin tops. The MX-5 should be fun around here, along with the NSU. Not that I've tried them, but I've done a few races around Pau in various games over the years, and it's always been a circuit I've enjoyed in slower cars. Anything up to Formula 3, so the Tarts F4, the Formula Junior, and the Formula 3 should all be fine. Older DTM cars, probably, touring, like I said, touring cars, some of the older tin tops. Basically, give it a shot. You want things with not too much aero, lots of mechanical grip. It's quite bumpy in places, as you'll probably see, but it is a fun little circuit. And despite the fact it's got 4 hairpins, and if you've ever watched me bitching and whinging about hairpins in games, you'll be surprised to learn I don't actually mind it here for some bizarre reason. I just find there's a nice flow to the circuit, the way it's laid out. It seems to work. So, but without further ado, we will have a drive around. Like I said, I am actually going to do a Formula 3 car. Don't do that, that's annoying. Shall I try and get in an elevated position? Can I remember if I've got a button set to change the camera? Not that one, that's obviously. Oh, I might be having. Oh, no, I'll leave it as is. I might actually have a different thing set up rather than my Formula Rim, but whatever. It works. Right, you come out effectively after the first corner. The first corner is a very quick kink up the start-finish straight, but this is La Gare corner. I will name some of them, but not all of them, because I can't remember. The reason it's called La Gare is because there's a train station over there. Although apparently La Gare in Italian is the racers, which is quite a weird thing to be saying. It's like, it could be a train station, or if it was in Italy, it'll be the racers, which is quite appropriate for a racetrack. Up there, I thought initially that was like a viaduct, but it's not. There's a road on top of that massive structure there, and basically the town is sort of on multiple levels, and up the top there is all flat. That's why I said have a look at it in Google Maps, stick it in 3D and have a wander around. There's a big old sort of church cathedral up the top there. It's quite interesting, and the way it's all laid out. All this section along here, it's like a giant bloody wall holding the town up, so it's like big buttressed things, so very interesting. Oh, this is the Avenue Napoleon Bonaparte, although in Racing Circuits info it's got a different name, which I can't remember, although the next bit round the corner is that. There's a slight kink along here, you won't really notice it, and then we come up to the Pont Oscar, Pont being bridge in French. My French is shit, but I do know that. Oscar being Oscar de somebody the second or something. If you look on Google Maps, it gives you the full name. Racing Circuits only gives you the short name. That's the second hairpin, and then we come up to this one, which is the slowest hairpin. This is the high school corner, let's say, is it? So I don't know whether there's a high school, whether that's a high school or what, but whatever. This is a Lassay. Quite tight, but it seems to be easier to get round than the Macau hairpin, even though I'm sure it's as tight. It's just not 180 degrees quite, so that's maybe why. It's a big old building over there. This is Casino Corner, which is pretty quick. You'll be accelerating around here. You might find you're pushing the front end as you come around here. It's quite easy to push it. And then you'll come into, I forgot what it's called now, Park Beaumont, is it? The park there is corners named after it. And this is a fairly long 180 degrees ish, as you can see from the track map, and quite bumpy. There's a few lumps and bumps here. You want to try and stay left and then late on push yourself over to the right, possibly even ride the curb in an appropriate car for this, which is, I think this one's Foch or Foch, F-O-C-H. I think that's the corner name for that one. Again, as you're coming down the hill here, if you try and press on too hard down here, you'll find yourself getting pushed wide front end. Very much a thing that you need a good one of here around here. This is, I can't remember what it is in French, Buzian or something, but it's actually bush. So careful around the bush. No beating around the bush. Yeah, there's a few more in there somewhere. So, running up that hill, Cape Bush. No. Then again, a little kink here and there, and then it's Le Chicane, which is a chicane. I'm not sure how much you can get away with humping over this thing here, but if you do tend to find yourself getting pushed across into that wall there, and then you're back onto the start finish straight. It's not a particularly long circuit. It's quite technical. There's a lot of places where you find the front end getting pushed. There's a few places where you find it being shoved about all over the place. The entrance to the pits is here before the first very fast kink. If you go round in something like a Formula Junior for about the first 3 laps, you'll find you don't have enough grip to get round the first turn flat out. Basically, the pits are temporary and built in a car park, and just the other side of this barrier here is a river. That over there, I don't know if that's a part of the station or not, but the station's that bit over there. But as you come round this corner, you do want to brake sort of round about where that crossing point is. But we'll see if we can do a couple of fast laps without killing ourselves, which the way my driving goes is might happen, might not. Quite easy to run the curb on the outside if you're not careful. Want to try and get out here and then turn in fairly late, so you try and straighten this out as much as possible then. Again, nasty bump there. You can get launched off there, so that's quite likely to stick you on a wall. And again, as you said, as you said, you didn't say anything, I said it. That previous corner's quite easy to launch yourself into the wall. Unfortunately, I haven't got the times up, so I can't remember which button to press to see them, so... I'm not sure how valid it is trying to ride the curves and pavements, but... I think as long as you stay well to the right, sorry, to the left, going into the high school corner, you should be alright. Again, it's quite easy to drift a bit too wide coming through there. Patience, patience, patience. You'll probably go through. Ooh, don't use too much curb. But you do have to be quite aggressive over the curbs to get through the chicane nice and quick. How much you like to damage your suspension, I don't know, but it's the usual thing with slow corners in the Formula car. Feel the back end starting to try and get away from you as you accelerate, so as long as your FFB is quite well set up, you should be fine. But as you can see, it goes around it. I haven't done anything to the steering rack settings, it's as it comes. Ooh, getting a bit drifty wide there. As the front end's warming up a bit, it's getting a little bit better. Coming out of that corner, I would probably want to stick a little bit more front end on the car. But it's actually got a remarkably nice flow to it, despite all the hairpins, so it's a nice circuit to drive. So hopefully that gives you a taste. I won't bother going mad and doing too many more laps. Was that 114 something, was it? But yeah, really nice little circuit, nice addition. It was 670 VRP, was it? About £5.50, which is not bad. But it's definitely one of the circuits that, if you've never tried Pau, it's worth trying. It's a nice little circuit. It's quite interesting. It's quite an interesting race circuit. Obviously it's not hugely wide, although it's not as narrow as some street circuits, but all in all, not a bad little circuit to have a bit of a run round. And like I said, worth a look in Google Maps. But yes, that's definitely a bit tight, but if you go a bit sort of further than you think around the corner, you can usually get around it. I have tried a couple of different cars. I haven't tried all of them, obviously, but it seems to work quite well in this. No problem at all in the Formula Junior. I haven't actually tried any of the tin tops yet, but yeah, really nice little circuit. 14.3, not bad after only 5 laps. I did a couple of laps just to make sure I wasn't going to completely kill myself. I could actually get around the corners before I started, but apart from that, I haven't done a huge number of laps. But yeah, actually quite a nice circuit. Of the street circuits, probably one of the better ones. I find Macau is okay. It's quite quick, but that one hairpin really annoys, especially as it's so difficult to spot. This seems to be easier to spot where you're turning. I don't think I'll change the FOV or anything, but seems to be a bit easier. Whether it's the car I'm driving or what, I don't know, but certainly no problem getting around it in this. And Monaco, I don't like Monaco, never really have, but I think this is actually it's a better circuit for driving and probably for racing on as well. I've had a few races in various games over the years around here, but I've never found it a problem to, especially with other people making mistakes, because it is quite easy to make mistakes, drift wide, hit the wall, especially if you're pushing through like a casino and a couple of other corners. It's quite easy to push the front end wide, so hopefully you'll get other people, and hopefully they don't bounce off a barrier and kill you on the way, but you know what it's like. 1 minute you're okay, and the next minute you've got hit in the face with a car. Shit happens, whatever. But yes, well worth a look. I think, did I set up? Yeah, I think I set up one of our public servers to just be cycling around Pau with half a dozen different cars you can choose. So check RWB's public servers, and you might find one to play on if you're looking for someone to play with. Aren't we all? So, but for me, for now, that's a quick look at Pau. Worth a look. Fun little circuit. Great to drive. And like I said, I wouldn't recommend going too mad with the cars. Certainly something like the FR90 would be absolutely mint around here. And the sort of the Formula Ultimate or whatever the hell their top end car is called, I can't remember, would be suicidal. So I suggest something a little bit slower, but not too slow. Something like the F3 is, like about your limit, really. So, but for me, for now, that's all. Have fun, enjoy your racing, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.